I understand, Donovan. I completely understand.
I mean, and the sad thing is, you got a lot of good women out there, but the thing is, they've, in my opinion, that they've misconstrued their role. You're a grandparent now. You know, that's why a lot of these kids are irresponsible.
Let's break that down, okay? I want to break that down just a second, and I want to ask you guys a question that I feel is very important, okay? So, hey, Gina, I feel, and this is just me, I'm probably totally wrong, but this is just how I see it. I feel like a lot of parents, especially in our community, the grandparents become sort of like the parents.
Right.
Because a lot of times their kids don't stay together, or they were never together with the significant other, the other parent in the first place. And a lot of that is because we really just don't drive the point home. I want you to be with somebody who's going to help you raise these kids. If you're out there just laying down with somebody, protect yourself.
Right.
Okay? Don't procreate. Because, like, I'm very honest with my daughter. I love her. There's nothing I would not do for her. She's spoiled. But she knows one thing that her mom is not going to do, and that I'm not going to raise your children. Okay. I will help as being the matriarch, the grandmother. I will help in that fashion. But I would never take your because my mom didn't do it for me.
Right. Okay.
Which is probably why I only have one child. Because my mom made sure that I was going to raise that child. I had my daughter out of wedlock. I was 21, almost 22 when I had her. Her father and I had issues even before we had her. But my mom was very plain and simple. You're going to raise your child. I will never see anything bad happen to you guys. If you ever needed help, which I have, and she has helped me. But I'm never going to take your responsibility for you so that you can be out there, you know, not being a mom to your daughter. And so that's why I feel like I'm a decent mom. And my daughter she's 26. She doesn't have any kids or anything like that because I always taught her, have children with somebody who's going to be there with you to raise the children. And so, let's see here. Oops, I missed some comments. And then Sydney says, sometimes, Donovan, their children are lost. Yes, but that's because we have to teach our children from the cradle about being responsible. Like they first got to see a responsible parent, and we got to teach them how to do that.
Yeah,
right?
That's deep. That's deep.
And so Billy says, "Oh no, not raising any kids. I didn't make just taking notes about white women." Oh, okay, yes, please. You know, talk to him about those things. I almost said the dangers of dating white women. That's kind of bad. It sounds kind of bad. And I don't mean it to be disrespectful, but there are dangers to dating white women. I mean, there just are.
Trust me.
I mean, that's just the way it is, and we need to be honest with our kids.
Well, with the crap that my brother went through with his gray skull, I mean, that scared the hell out of me.
Who?
His gray skull.
What is a gray skull?
White woman. You know, they got gray skulls, and you I mean, and it scared the hell out of me. You know, but fellas, if you're going to get a white woman, and this is what I say. And I tell you this all the time.
Come up with a new term every time.
This is what I say. If I'm gonna leave my race, that chick is gonna have some money. You know what I mean? It take a significant amount of money for me to do that.
It makes sense.
You know. So, but you know, you got some brothers that get a girl right out of the Jerry Springer show, and they're thinking that that's high balling. You know, sad.
And Billy says for him, so for your son. And Sydney says, I have a friend who is great, a great grandmother at 41.
Oh, I believe it.
How?
I believe it.
How is she a great grandmother at 41?
I believe
Something
it.
making no sense.
These people out there just busting it wide open.
And Tay says, listen, my parents told us from day one, you have kids, you raise them. They stuck to that rule. The only time my parents rewatched my kids was when we were both deployed at the same time. So that's a different story. Yeah. Y'all were off being responsible. You weren't saying, hey, Mom, I'm going to the club. You know, I'm going to the,
I'm going on a cruise.
Or the girls' trip. You better take these kids with you.
Right.
I mean, I can hear my mom saying that, you know, which is why I didn't even have the itch to go out anymore like that. I rarely went out. I was, you know, a mother first, and I raised my child. It was never... My mom watched my kids sometimes if I wanted to go do something, but it wasn't like, hey,
constructive.
Mom, I'm on my way to dropping my daughter off for the weekend.
Right. And it's different if, your parent or your mom or somebody sees you working hard and that's all you're doing and you're struggling doing it and she wants to give you a break.
Or something,
that's different.
sometimes things happen. You know, they get your kids might get divorced or whatever, so you help, but you don't take.
Right.
And Al says, "Hey Donovan, when Demetra called me last night, she said, why did the word bastard cross my mind? I said, I shouldn't. Don't you think words like that cross my mind?" Sneakers says yes. What? Sneakers says yes, but even our relationship's worst arguments, you never call me a bitch. I said, that doesn't mean it never crossed my mind.
Right. I'm telling you, watching these two is a show within itself.
Al has been called some choice words by me.
I heard.
I don't mean it all the time. It's 50-50.
Because sometimes she'll show up and you have that look on your face like, I just talked to Al. I just talked to Al.
No, Al he's really a good dude.
Yeah, he is.
I'm one of those. Al sometimes, and a lot of people accuse me of this, so it's not just Al, accuse me of not having any compassion. Because like when people tell me something, I'm like, suck it up, shut up.
Right.
And just keep it pushing.
But when Al comes to visit, she's all cheese. Everything is good. I shot the sheriff.
And Obi says 2 week 2. And you also say every man wants to know that if something happened to him, his kids are okay.
Hey, amen. Yes.
Like, can you imagine being somebody and you're going to take a dirt nap? You're going to be lowered 6 feet deep.
Yep.
And the last thing on your mind is like, ooh.
Yeah.
I wish I would have picked a different baby mama.
Right.
Oh my gosh, what's going to happen to my kids? This lady, you don't want that. You don't want that to be the last thing on your mind, right?
Yeah, I can say my youngest son's mom is probably the best decision I made to help me raise this kid. And bring him into the world and stuff. Because that woman's fun. I can't say. And I come down hard on sisters, but I do give them their due when it's due. And she was one of those. Right. I just said because she never tried to dog me out.
You never had to wonder if your child was all right.
And she never tried to dog me out. Right. Everything was fair.
Right.
And
that's probably because she was taught that.
Yeah. Yeah. She had her dad in her life. Exactly.
And Billy says, yes, in the South, gray skull means good head. Okay. So you might want to clarify.
Okay. Gotcha.
Lord have mercy.
Well, here in the West, gray skull means like cave chick.
Donovan makes up a whole lot of terms. I'm going to write a book of Donovan's terms, okay?
What's my newest? Roaching.
He talking about we need to stop roaching off of each other. He talking about cockroaches. Once nothing's left, they start eating each other. And sometimes that's what we as black people do. We roach off of each other. We use and abuse each other.
We do. Why would you teach your child to... Okay, you were on the system. You made it a lifestyle. Why would you teach that to your child? And it's a generational thing. That's a form of roaching.
I agree.
Yeah, so.
Me and Deanna have been using roaching quite a bit. We've been using the term roaching.
I got to copyright it.
Copyright it. And Cindy says, Donovan is a mess. He said money. Yeah, she said for him to date outside.
Yeah, no, it's going to take a significant amount of money for me to go. Because that way, when you guys are pointing at me, like, look at that sellout, that guy in his Lexus going to his mansion.
You're taking your tight self to your mansion.
My mansion.
Like Undercover Brother.
Exactly. No, but doesn't that make sense? If you're going to do it.
And he says, and not anything else? Yeah. Just money?
Well, it's going to have to take the money. I'm going to have to take the money. Because I see too many brothers, they get the other chick, and she's from the trailer park or wherever she's from, and you're like, huh? You could have got that in our own neighborhood. A sister that is from the projects. That has nothing.
It's right in your own backyard.
Right. You're going to go to the white chick that's from the trailer park. She ain't got nothing. Remember, she's white trash. So she's at the bottom of the white hierarchy. At least this sister will struggle with you together.
From the ideology of Donovan, you guys.
Yes. I'm sorry. I'm taking the money.
Let's see. Al says there are dangers at times dating an uptight vegan. You tend to walk on eggshells, and that really upsets them because we vegans are here.
Yes.
Shut up.
Well, look. When you got that box of Winco and you eating it in front of them, I'm telling you, they get upset.
Me and Al
and I,
we are polar opposites of everything.
Which makes you a good couple.
Sometimes, you guys, I literally have to hang up on Al. Because he's laughing, and sometimes for 10, 15 minutes, just laughing uncontrollably over the same thing. Today, I was like, get off my phone. Get it? Because he's laughing and laughing and laughing. Like, I laugh too, but, I'm more on the serious side. Al is more, I won't say he's emotional like in a bad way, but he feels stuff.
Right.
I don't feel a lot of stuff. Like I'm saying, if you were to come to me and say, oh gosh, today it's just been a horrible day, Donovan wouldn't, but it's horrible, I just don't know what to do. I'd be like, I give him some advice, and if okay, you're getting on my nerves.
Yeah.
Okay, I need you to make a decision.
Right, suck it up. Life goes on.
Right, so you're having it. Obi says, what about those people that have kids real young, then try to recapture their youth in their 40s and 50s, laugh out loud, be at the club, shaking my damn head.
We saw that at the Metro reunion.
Yeah, Donovan went to the club. There was this reunion of a club that was back in the day. Mm-hmm. And we were 40. I hadn't been to the club in probably 20 plus years.
Yeah.
It was something fun to do, but yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong if you're 40 and 50, you don't have any other responsibilities. Yeah, sure, have fun, but you're trying to reclaim your time from back in the 80s.
And there were some girls that came in with their suits.
They sure did. They had the cat suit and shook it out and got the cobwebs off and put it on.
Man.
And Al says, yes, when I come to LA, Demetra is not all cheese. I'm eating all cheese on sandwiches because the kitchen ND don't get along. You a damn lie. See, now you got these people on here thinking I don't cook for him. And I don't even make him eat vegan food. I cook for him.
What do you want?
I cook death for him.
Right.
No.
You're like, is your insurance policy paid up, baby?
Right. And Billy says, laugh out loud. He's right. I think he's talking about you. And Cindy says, so she can look like roadkill, but it's okay. Disturb me talking about so she can have money but look like roadkill.
Come on now. Come on. I could always, get my little side. I'm going to do a Donald Trump. I can get me some side pieces.
Cindy,
I'll do the duty.
I wish you could have saw his face when he said, yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Billy says,
I've seen worse. Trust me, I've been in danger.
Billy says, yes, you, the blue-eyed white girl and the nice house and credit. So get you that. So get you a nice blue-eyed white girl.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna do it,
I don't know about all that. I'm not advocating for any of that. Okay?
But unfortunately, I would have to date every black woman on the earth, then go and date a white woman, and unfortunately, that's not going to happen. So.
You just don't have
they don't have propensity
a desire
for. I've seen the videos; it doesn't look good.
I'm not even going to ask you what videos you talking about.
Where they got the butt slapping, and you see the handprint. I just don't see how brothers do it. I'm like, ugh.
How did we get here?
Well, it's just like my baby says. She don't like pink. She don't like pink. How do they do it?
You asking the wrong person, okay? And hey, Steve says, hey, Queen, sorry I'm late. Love the shirt. Just watched Boys in the Hood this morning. Thank you. I actually got this shirt from Ross. I ordered it once before. It didn't come, and I saw it at Ross for a lot cheaper. So, hey, it worked out, right? And
speaking of Boys in the Hood, and I'll just recap, have you been watching the blogs as people are going to, as they see us?
Uh-huh.
And people are getting mad in the first 20 minutes. I was reading some of the comments and stuff. Not yet.
Donovan gonna blow up some shit.
Yeah,
if you watch it, when you watch it, give me the guns. Yeah. I'm gonna take the guns with me. Okay,
yeah. You can take them out the car, out the back.
Yeah, actually, when they see us, is the number as the most watched Netflix show ever.
Wow, yeah, because I heard people are getting upset.
Oh, yeah, it's hard to watch. It is very hard to watch. I actually watched the Oprah special, and my daughter she was like, Oprah, we still ain't messing with you. I watched it because of Ava and the guys, but you could tell, like, Antron, he said that he's not well, and he'll never be well. He said, there's nothing that can fix me.
Right.
I'm broken, and I'm permanently broken. And everybody's like, get some therapy.
My millions.
He's like, nope, I'm good. Well, he said, one of them said it actually made it worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not all that it's cracked up to be, if you will.
Trust me, I know.
Right. Well, then go on and give it to me, and I'll make sure it's cracked up what it's supposed to be cracked up to be. And Al says, Donovan, he said, the other day I was complaining about this lazy sister, the bank, and Demetra said, you and Donovan are just alike. Oh, my God. Y'all Negroes.
Oh, man.
Y'all, the smallest thing will set you guys
Set me off. Do your job. And
I'm like, y'all just, I can't take Donovan nowhere without having to elbow him a bunch of times because he'll find everything. Oh, look at that. They're late. It's 30 seconds too late. I'm like, I'm going to kill you before we leave.
Yeah, I mean, hey.
Yes, and Cindy says videos, we're going to gloss over that. We don't even want to know what videos he's talking about. And Steve says, very hard to watch. Absolutely. Talking about when they see us. But it's a must watch.
It's a must watch. I know it's tough, but.
And Cindy says, why are people getting mad about the documentary? Corey looks broken too. Yeah, on the thing that I saw that Oprah and Ava did, he barely talked. He barely spoke at all. Mm-hmm. He would just kind of say, yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm. Or just he would gesture. But he hardly spoke I was just, you can understand that they're all suffering from what they did, and it's a tearjerker. It will make you cry. One thing that made me cry is that Yusuf, he said, because he got out on bail, so he was free, during the whole time it was going on. And when they got the verdict in, he says he remembered telling one of his friends, "I'll be back. I'll see you in a minute." And that minute turned into 6 years?
6 years, 6
He
7
never
years.
came home, and so. He says we had to grow up really soon. He said we're all in junior high.
Right, and you got to think about this. A situation like that, you don't know what the real story is.
Well, you could tell that they suffered. They didn't say exactly what happened to them behind bars.
Right.
But
you can only imagine.
You said you'd imagine being kids.
Right.
Going into, and you've never been in that situation before. Corey went right to Rikers Island as a child.
Right.
So, you can do your use your imagination. And then, especially episode 4, Steve.
Let me write that down.
Episode 4 was mostly about Corey. It was so hard to watch. It was very heartbreaking. And Al says, LA is standing up because Nipsey is being honored next weekend at the BET Awards Humanitarian of the Year.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And he should be. But, I listened to a lot of YG and a lot of his interviews, because he had an album that came out, Hard Bottoms and White Socks or something like that, the name of the album. And he dedicated the album to Nipsey. He's one of his best friends. And he says it's kind of hard for him because now, he says all these fake accolades and people, trying to pay homage to Nipsey. He says that he should have heard that stuff while he was here. He didn't know about that stuff while he was here. He didn't know you felt that way. And so he says it makes me want to slap people when I see them doing that, because it's like, come on, you're only clout chasing now.
Yeah, and I kind of agree with them, because what have we learned in this man's death? We just went right back to the next big thing.
You'd like to think that people are maybe, working in silence, maybe moving in silence. But it's just kind of, I would hate to think that Nipsey became like Tupac, pop culture.
Right, Malcolm X.
Yeah, it's pop culture. You're woke if you speak of those people's names. But, a lot of times, like for Malcolm X, people reverence Malcolm X. But it's like, are you doing are you just saying his name, or are you actually doing the work?
Right, you wearing the gear, or do you believe in what he's doing?
Are you actually out there doing the work, doing whatever it is you're called to do? Are you actually using those talents to help your people? But that's good that they are honoring him. Still very sad and emotional thing when you think about someone like Nipsey being snatched away
snuffed out
from not only his family but just the community at large.
Right.
Just it's still hard to believe, And so Oprah has a special on Netflix, so she's interviewing.
Yeah, she's trying to get back in the good graces.
Exactly, and that's what my daughter kept saying. My daughter's not giving Oprah no passes. They now call them the exonerated 5. They don't want to call them the Central Park 5 because that's negative connotation. But she and Ava DuVernay are interviewing the cast and the men who are exonerated. So it's about an hour long or so, and they just talk to them in the cast and stuff. Oh my gosh, there was one part where Antron, I think it was Antron who was speaking. Just about how his father did him. There was not a dry eye in that building. Everybody, the cast, everybody was just bawling uncontrollably because he's like, I have, 6 kids. He says, I can never imagine doing to them what my father did to me. And you guys have to watch it to see exactly what I'm speaking of. But yeah, I cried, and I'm a gangster. And Sydney says, current events on Staten Island, a black teen was chased by a white mob. That happened a couple weeks ago, and he ended up dying because he had an asthma attack. Is that the one? And let's see. And Al says, guys, since you all mentioned the documentary, I have been meaning to ask you, Oprah, I'm confused now. Is she for and or against the plight of blacks in the U.S.? Almost makes me wonder. almost makes me wonder if this documentary is a good or bad thing to be out there and watched by us. I don't know. I'm just wondering here.
Good question.
Well, Oprah lost a lot of points with me, especially when she went after Michael Jackson. I'll just be honest with you, I haven't felt the same. I mean, I had my issue with Oprah before that, but that kind of was just like, I'm cool. I watched because it wasn't about her; it was about the Exonerated Five, if you will. And I like Ava's work. If you get a chance to watch 13th, she also has another very profound documentary called 13th that talks about the 13th Amendment and what it actually means. And so Ava does great work. And I wanted to, hear from the men. They were boys then, but I wanted to hear from the men. And they, shed a lot of light on a lot of things that the documentary didn't shed a light on. They said when they were watching the documentary themselves, it was their first time really getting a look at what the other boys were going through because they were separated. Two of them were together for a minute, but they were pretty much separated. They didn't know each other. Only two of them knew each other. But they didn't really know each other at that point. Right. They got sucked into the same. And they also said there was 40 other boys that they did a DNA test on that came back negative.
Right.
And so they didn't think to include the 5 in. Okay, well, they're also didn't test positive for the DNA. Let's let them go. They kept on with the lie.
Yeah, but those devils, okay, the guy that admitted and is found to be the perpetrator, these white devils still think the person should be locked up.
And that's what Yusuf said. He said when he heard the news that the guy, Mateus Reyes, admitted to it in a DNA match, he said he couldn't find joy because immediately he thought they're going to try to make this a case of a 6-man, and sure enough, they did.
Yeah, and they're trying. Yeah. And then I there was an interview with the jogger who got attacked. This lady is saying that the prosecution didn't do anything wrong, and well, number one, and don't take it the wrong way, you can't remember anything.
Right, now all of a sudden...
So now you're feeding this narrative like, well, the prosecution did their job and everything is right. That lady's a Trump. She's a Trump supporter.
Yeah. And another thing, too, I think Oprah is disingenuous because she should have also talked about that. She did interview, in her old magazine, can't remember if it was Linda Federer or... Linda, one of them, Elizabeth Federer or Linda Ferenstein. She interviewed them in regards to the Central 5-part case. So it's like, I think she should have mentioned that.
Right.
Don't gloss over that. We know that you granted her an interview and probably thinking, that she did a good job.
Propaganda, right.
So, no, I didn't see 16 Shots, Cindy. Is that on Netflix? I want to watch it. I've been hearing about it. And Steve says, the 13th was such a deep watch. I think everybody should watch that.
Watch that again.
I tell 13th. That to my nephews, really any black women too, but especially black men. You guys need to watch that and understand what the system of injustice of what you're dealing with. Right. I don't understand why people don't watch that. And you also saw it a few years ago. I did too. And Al says, have you saw the movie The Last Black Man in San Francisco?
No, I heard about that one.
I want to see that. I've seen
Last Black Man in San Francisco.
The previews. I'm not really sure what it's about. I guess I have to watch it again. And then Cindy says, I feel for Corey just was being and went down to the precinct. Yeah, wasn't even involved at all. And Cindy says, Donovan, you have to remember as well, she was feed the information and still being fed the jar, or she was fed the information. Sorry.
Right. But I mean, it's so
Hulu. Okay, I'll check it out.
It's so sad because what it is, and this shows you how dumb Americans are, and we really are. Americans' perception around the world, we're dumb as rocks. Seriously, because look at the facts. We do things that we do, but they see this lady, and she's an advocate for a lot of things. But ma'am, you don't even remember the attack.
Well, she's probably trying to stay relevant now. Hell, she heard these dudes got... And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but in her mind, they got 41 million. Well, let me come out. Because she wrote a book, too. Let me try to get some more, fame or whatever. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, because all the Trumpsters are like, listen to her. Yeah, the prosecution didn't do anything wrong. They did a bang-up job.
Yeah, they did a bang-up job.
How could you do a bang-up job if you wrongfully convicted and then you cost me, the taxpayer, $41 million for a wrongful conviction?
They gave him some more money, too, on top of that recently.
Yeah, recently.
And Cindy says, the question, D, who is still feeding her? Oh, so the jogger, you mean who's feeding her as far as the information?
Oh yeah.
He said, "Wait, she is getting paid." I don't know if she's getting paid. I know she, the jogger wrote a book, but I don't know if she's got any money or anything like that.
Yeah, but if you listen to her outside of the exonerated five, she is definitely a hardcore Republican type person.
And I did hear that she said that she doesn't think the prosecution did anything wrong. So let me ask you guys this question. How much time we have left?
We got over 20 minutes.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you guys this question. I'll get to you guys' other comments about that. Okay, so for a very long time, probably as long as we've all been on social media, Facebook or whatever form you're on, we've been seeing a lot of videos of police brutality against black people, videos of brutality against black people by other people. Mm-hmm. And so I've been seeing a couple of videos and things like that. So one in particular was of this black woman. She was in a store. I didn't think they were Arabs or something like that. She's in a store and she got mad because the guy behind the counter, she said he called her a nigger. Mm-hmm. So she's upset. She's like, "You called me a nigger, how dare you?" And I'm paraphrasing, but she's pretty upset. Now, while she's going back and forth with the store owners, there's black men there. Mm. One black man looked like he's trying to get money out of the ATM or something. He's totally just oblivious. Now, he wasn't oblivious because he knew what was going on, but he wasn't paying it any mind at all. And he's trying to get this money out of the ATM, and he's signaling the dude over. Another black dude is at the counter, digging in his wallet, buying whatever he was buying. And I'm like, this man just called your sister, not biologically your sister, but your sister a nigger, and you are unfazed. So to me, yeah, it's horrible that he called her nigger, and I put the ER on there because that's what she said he called her. Right. But to me, it was worse that those brothers stood there and didn't bat an eye that black woman was talked to that way. In fact, they couldn't wait to continue to give these people their money. And I thought, where are the brothers that would have turned that mother out? Not necessarily tore up the store, because that's not necessarily what I'm advocating. If you did, okay, great, fine. But I'm saying, clear the whole store. Of every black person there, get your ass out of here. We are no longer doing business with these people. Did y'all see how they talked to our sister? Matter of fact, give me my money back. Let's go. What happened to those men?
Well, I'm going to answer this real quick. We call each other Negroes in the music and stuff, and we don't do anything to stop it. And I mean, I see young kids where the white kids and the Hispanic kids are using the words nigga, whatever they're doing. Same connotation. I don't care how you use it and how you spin it, ER, whatever. It's the same connotation. That's why they didn't do anything, because they become oblivious to it.
So some of us are desensitized to the word, right? I always had this saying from a very young child: I could kick my sister's ass, but you can't. Okay. You know what I'm saying? You can. We might talk to each other that way. You still don't get a pass. Some will argue it's not right for nobody to say it, but goddamn it ain't right for nobody else to say it to me. Like, I come from the generation, I've been called niggers before. Never to my face, though. Right. It was always from a speeding car. Right. Or something like, but never ever, because I come from the generation to where somebody other than, let's say somebody calling you that, see, people say a term of endearment, it is what it is. Bullshit. Somebody white or anybody else is to call me a nigga. I come from the generation that where they knew they was going to catch an ass whooping.
Yeah, that's me right there, even to this day.
We don't have that generation now, so I understand that. But those men that were in that store were at least my age. So they come from the generation where you was catching an ass whooping for calling somebody a nigger. They were completely, they own black woman. Completely unfazed. So, let's see here. I missed some comments. And so Sydney said, oh, she does speeches talking about her advocating for Trump. And you also say she has been giving speeches since the trial. Yeah. And I'm not saying she shouldn't, but give it in the right context. Don't, implement these dudes. They had the exonerated five, I should say. Right. They had nothing to do with it. Arson says, I have felt many different ways about the victim. In a way, she is also a victim because she's been fed lies, etc. But in my opinion, by now she would have come to her. She would have come to her senses if she was not already at least partly racist before the incident. Just my opinion, yeah. Because she didn't remember. She got on the stand and said she didn't remember, which they said kind of hurt the boys because she couldn't, definitively say that it wasn't them. She didn't know, but now all of a sudden you're advocating on behalf of the prosecution. How can you do that when you have no recollection?
Right.
And so you would have to wonder, well, maybe she was already racist,
Yeah, white supremacist.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
She's a big Trump supporter.
Right, and Cindy says, and Trump went after the boys harder than the prosecution did.
Yeah.
And Cindy says, did you see the video of what happened next at the store? At that store? I did not. What happened? And then you also say...
That's right. We got to see what happened of the video before.
No, we don't need to see what happened. And Arson says... Cindy says, Arson, the police are giving her so-called new evidence. Like what new evidence? What evidence do you have that you didn't already have? The DNA did not match them at all. Nothing linked those guys to the scene of the crime at all. And then Arson, you say, nope. Hey, Anthony, what's happening? And Cindy says, yeah, they are. And then Al says that that's probably why so many sisters are dating outside their race. Well...
Could be. It's a good portion.
I don't know. I mean, I can't speak for them. It could be, But I just, like, when I see that kind of stuff, I'm friends with a guy on here. His name is Daryl. I think his last name is Farmer. And he is the head of the Black Panthers in Milwaukee. He put a video up of them, and that's what they do. They go to stores and they shut them down. Because in that particular store, a 13-year-old boy was beaten with a baseball bat by the owner, who accused him of stealing something. It turns out he didn't steal anything, but beat him to the point of being hospitalized and having seizures and convulsions and things like that. And he, along with the rest of the Black Panthers, cleared that store. He didn't go in there and ask them, you guys, do you mind if we don't shop here because, they beat up a 13-year-old with a bat? Do you think we could? He's like, no. He told the owner, he said, the store is shut down. Get from behind that counter. Lock these doors. You guys are out of business until further notice. And some of the black people were trying to come in, and he's like, get out. I'm paraphrasing, but get out.
I gotta give me some zigzags.
No, you ain't getting nothing out of here. He said, this store is shut down. Do not come in here.
Just for 1 second, I gotta give me some zigzags.
No, you stay your black ass out of here. And then he's fighting an uphill battle to some degree because you have the upstanding black people in the community, the pastors, and the so-called activists who are backdooring him. The people, the owners, I think the Arabs or something like that, they opened up the store and gave free hot dogs and chips and drinks.
That's all it takes. To
the black people of the community. He had these pastors. He put up a picture of a pastor's black Mormon pastor going there talking about what he shouldn't have been stealing. So they're putting her on blast. Another dude went there because he said that they offered him, King Daryl is what we call him, they offered him $5,000 to go away so they can open back up. And he says no. Because he said he knows that they're making almost $1 million a year in the neighborhood. This ain't like a Vons or a Kroger's. This is a regular mom and pop store.
Every economic group that comes here, they base their economy
in the black community. And they're making nearly $1 million off of selling.
And we can't do it for ourselves. That's what's so crazy.
And he's got to stand in front of the store with the rest of the Black Panthers to keep these people from going in there. And so...
Come on, Omar's a good guy. Come on.
Not if he's beating up 13-year-olds with bats.
They shouldn't have been stealing.
He's giving us free hot dogs today.
He shouldn't have been stealing. And look, he gave us the hot dogs.
And that's what a lot of the activists, these black activists who are supposed to be advocating on behalf of black people, are going in and backdooring. Like the Black Panthers of Milwaukee, they're trying to shut the store down so that black people can have some dignity. And you have black people who are supposed to be the pillars of the community, if you will. As I'm sure it's a self-giving title. They're going around and saying it's okay. Oh, they're okay. As you say, I don't know his name, but Ahmad, he's okay. We can do business with him. He's giving us free hot dogs and chips today.
Right. Exactly. What's the problem?
Oh, ain't nothing wrong with a little getting beat up with a little bat every now and again.
So then why do people get up in arms when Trump says, just rough them up a little bit?
Well, because, we don't want them to do it.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But yeah, those people need to be run out of the neighborhood. They need to be exposed. And so, but I don't know why black women, there's a whole host of reasons why black women are dating outside of the race. I've heard a lot, so trust me, I know. And then Sydney says that fool who just passed away 2 weeks ago, the lead detective, did an interview in January on Fox News Channel 5 here, said they have new evidence proving that Central Park and Reyes did the crime together. I mean, they had all the information there, including, they had arrested Reyes for the crime. They could have linked his DNA then if they really wanted to.
Right.
Reyes is doing a life sentence for murder and rape. He could have very easily said, yeah, they did it right along with me. But he didn't do that. Like, they're just devils.
And then the report from the city, I'm sorry, not the city, the U.S. attorney there, completely exonerated.
Right.
Based on all the evidence. They said you had no case here. You had no business even bringing this to trial.
Devils. And I don't wish bad on nobody in their soul, but I hope he is burning in hell like a rotisserie chicken.
But white supremacy.
I really do. Mm-hmm. So I just thought I'd ask you guys that. Like, I guess what I should ask you guys is, what would you do if you were in a store?
I'm just going to get some zigzags. I got to smoke this weed.
If you were in a store and you saw a black woman being called a nigger, would you stand there?
I wouldn't.
Or what would you do?
I wouldn't. First of all, I would put him in check. Sorry.
Yeah, say something.
I put him in check.
Something.
But then when I hear black people calling themselves nigger, it's different if you say negro, because I say negro a lot. That's different. But nigga, no, we're not having that. And I try to correct these kids, but then I got to get in my car. I got to go, because these Thundercats want to fight.
I mean, I don't have a cape, but when I see my people in public, I didn't always used to be that way. I was kind of one like, yeah, they might kill me or say something to me, but I say stuff like the other day. My friend and I were walking. We're finishing our 8-mile walk, and we passed a brother. He was with a Mexican woman, and they had a child. She was mixed. I passed by them, and as we passed them, he was telling his child, you better listen to me. Do you want to be like me? Do you want to be black like me? He was beautifully just dark brother. I'm talking about
like Mr. Moses.
Flawless, just chocolate, very chocolate. And he's saying, you don't want to be like me. You better listen to me, because it was very hot that day. So I don't know if he wanted to put on a hat, sunscreen. I don't know what it was. And I said, brother, don't be talking to her like that. I said, yeah, black is beautiful. I said, you are beautiful. I said, you are a beautiful black. Nah. She don't want to be black like me. I said, yes, she does. I said, the blacker, the better.
Yep.
And my friend was like,
let's keep walking.
No, not that. Cause a lot of people would have kept walking, but I was like, nah. You're not going to keep teaching baby self-hate, and I'm going to walk on by. So, I'm going to say something. So
I'm starting to rub off on you. We hanging out too much.
No, because Donovan's one of those people, too, who will say something. But Donovan's got a black belt.
Yeah, so I'll choke you out right there. Make you listen.
Right. So, yeah, and Anthony laughing. And Sydney says, they brainwashed the jogger once she gained consciousness. When she testified, she could not remember.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe all of that is true. Hey, Diana. He says, I would say something.
Absolutely. You got to say something.
What are you going to do? Hey, that's your problem. Maybe you are a nigger. Right. But pass me those donuts. I don't know.
Well, I'm going to say this on Father's Day. How do you call yourself a father, a protector, a husband, or whatever if you can't even defend your black woman?
And to me, is it an issue of they can't or they don't want to?
That's a good question.
Because I got the impression that those men didn't want to. I mean, even one looked back like, what's your problem? What you tripping on?
In history, any country that does not defend its women falls.
Like a mother.
Falls.
I always say a nation can rise no higher than its woman.
Exactly.
So if the woman is not being protected,
exactly,
the nation is not being protected. I mean, God, I was just like,
yeah. Didn't you talk about that with the MS-13 are saying they're not targeting the Hispanic chick's boyfriend? They're targeting them.
Yeah, the MS-13, the gang says if they see their women out with black dudes, they gonna get green lighted on site.
Yes.
Green lighted means they got to go to F them up and letting them know you stay home.
Yep.
So, And Al says, a black man frantically calls the hotel desk for his room on the 17th floor. Please come quick. My wife and I are having an argument. She was about to jump out of the window. The hotel manager says, the hotel manager says that's a domestic matter, and the hotel staff, but not obligated. The hotel staff are not obligated to interfere. Husband says, like hell, it's so a domestic matter. The damn window won't open, and that, sir, is a hotel maintenance problem. You stupid. So you want her to? He wanted her to jump out.
Right. Real quick before we go, I'm just going to give you guys a heads up. In Congress, they are talking about a reparations study. They have brought it to the floor. It has been brought to the floor every year since 1993. Right, reparations study by John Conyers before he resigned.
Yes.
He did it faithfully, and Sheila Jackson Lee picked up
for 25 years.
The thing. The question that I want you guys to think about, and maybe you guys want to take it and ask your neighbors and your friends who are, waiting for that check. Why is it that when the Asians were getting their reparations, I didn't see no study being made? When the Jews, which we didn't do nothing to the Jews, but they got a reparations check, I didn't see no study being made. They're doing the DREAM Act and all this other stuff, but when it comes to the black issue, we got to study it.
It's a study. I was listening to that on NPR today. Mm-hmm. Sheila Jackson Lee was on there. She says,
how did she justify it?
She said that they have I guess this week they're going to take this to the floor of Congress to enact a study. I'm like, what do we need to know?
Right, and notice that the study, there's no money being given, so everybody's going to sign off on that.
That's just slow dragging, what they call it, slow walking it.
Slow walking it.
We're going to study it.
They don't have to give up anything.
Right.
They're all for it. They're like, yeah. There's nothing.
Right.
We don't need to study.
We don't study this.
So
we know all we need to know.
So being part of black media, I want you guys to look at the clips or read about it, whatever. It's not going to do anything. So when somebody gets in your face and says, "Oh yeah, look, Congress is," and Generation Fail is going to do this. Look what they're doing. They're doing absolutely nothing.
Right.
Cut the check.
Cut the check, damn it. Cindy says, I stepped up when a white man went off on an Arab and a sister at the car wash. He threatened me until he saw the hip.
Yikes.
Just came back from the range.
Yes.
He's like, you sure you want to do that?
Right.
You sure you got that kind of energy?
An armed society is a polite
society. And Diana says, hi.
Hey, girl.
And Cindy says, did you watch the BET special today? I don't have BET because I don't have cable.
Well, get on YouTube. There'll probably be clips of it.
Okay, people probably, that's right. That's why I watch a lot of stuff on YouTube.
Yeah.
But you were saying it was about the economic something in regards to the black community. I would like to watch it. Who was on there, if you don't mind me asking? Mm-hmm. And so, so anyway, I don't see any more questions. I will take you guys a question if you guys want to talk about anything else.
I have another thing I want you guys to think about too. You guys remember a couple back in November of last year, there was a black woman that was found dead. She went to some kind of slumber party.
Oh, yeah.
With a bunch of white women. And the county she lived in ran out black people out of that county back in like 1812 or something. So it's a known thing. Very suspicious death. The coroner and the people there ruled the death a accident.
Yeah, she got drunk and fell off the balcony.
Right, but yet she broke her or hurt her wrist. And there's
badly beaten.
Yeah. Again, a situation like this happens and it gets swept under the rug. We have to start keeping these mysterious deaths. How many of you guys remember Mitrice Richardson?
Yeah.
Another situation. We can't just let this stuff die and say, okay, move on to the next. We've got to keep bringing these issues.
We have got to take action.
Yes.
Also, I know you guys have all seen it by now, the video of the family, the young family, that their 1-year-old, I think she is, maybe 4, I don't know, took a doll out of the Family Dollar store.
Yeah, okay.
And they called the police. They did a Family Dollar.
This is in Phoenix.
Yeah, and the police descended, if you will, on this family as if they were murderers or armed murderers.
Right.
Had the gun pointed at them, the police officer hollering and cussing at them. The lady, she's pregnant. She had a baby, holding the baby, and she has another baby. He was wanting her to put the baby on the ground, on the hot ground, so he can gaffle her up with, talking to her crazy, and he snatched the baby, trying to snatch the baby from her arms. And for you guys on the podcast, we will hear from you guys next week.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Snatched the baby's arm out of her socket because he's trying to get the baby from her. And so
He's got a badge.
right. I mean, he was an ignorant. I mean, they're race soldiers. We need to stop calling them police officers and call them what they are. They are race soldiers. They are race soldiers for white supremacy. They do not value black life. I was watching Phil from the Advice Show. It's now the African Diaspora or something now, but at the Advice Show. And he says, you know, because the lady is pregnant. She told me she's pregnant. She says, you're better off not telling those race soldiers that you're pregnant because it's a manifesto that he read for the guy in New Zealand was saying that they don't have a problem with killing